Hello, welcome back. It's been a little while since I've uploaded a video for this, but better late than never, right? So I think I'm gonna go with Cinderella first. I choose this one. Together, you and Alice reach out to the mirror. Then you walk through the glass and jump down into the looking glass world. Honestly, that song really slaps. I like it a lot. Once upon a time, in the looking glass world, there lived a selfish and arrogant young upstart named Cinderella. His father, a commoner who was the founder of Cinder Textiles, a self-made man who had amassed an incredible fortune over his lifetime. Heir to his father's assets, Cinderella grew up having everything handed to him on a silver platter, and as an adult, he became a notorious playboy.
ようこそ我がパーティーへ。今宵は俺の金で存分に楽しみやがれ。
Every weekend he held a banquet. He wore only the finest clothes from the finest brands, and his wristwatches were all studded with jewels. Crowds of people flocked to him wherever he went.
はい、素敵なパーティーね。一等地にあるこの喫茶店、あなたが買い取ったんでしょ？
ああ、まあな。やっぱ時代は不動産投資だろ。最近じゃこの辺の地価が上がり続ける一方だ。
それで腕時計と車を新調したってわけね。それにあなたがつけてる指輪もまるで深海みたいな綺麗なブルー。
これか？大したことねえよ。海外の行商人から買い付けた品だ。欲しいのか？
さあ、どうかしら。
いいぜ。あんたの好きなもの全部やるよ。その代わり今夜は俺に付き合えよ。
What a player.
今夜楽しみにしてるわ。
Mansions, condos, luxury cars, you name it. If he wanted it, he bought it. I want it, I got it. I want it, I got it. Hey, I see you, Ari.
本日はお招きいただきありがとうございました。今宵の素晴らしい音楽と人との出会いに感謝を。それでこの前の融資の件なんですが、考えてみてはいただけたでしょうか。
So I just now noticed that this right here is like a little crown above his head. That's really cute, actually. I really like this sort of border to really make it feel like picturesque. I dig it.
なああ、そういえばそんなもんもあったな。いいぞ、してやるよ。いくら必要なんだ？言ってみろよ。
ありがとうございます。やはりあなたは素晴らしい人だ。
He lived a glamorous life most people could only dream of. All who knew him respected and feared him and eagerly kissed up to him.
ああ。おい、白雪、グレーテル。
何兄さん。
He's so precious. Oh my god. Little bean. A small bean. I love it.
白雪、こんなとこにいやがったのか。お前な、サボってんじゃねえよ。ここの給仕だろうが。何悠長に読書なんてしてんだ。
閉店時間はとっくに過ぎてる。あとは
お前は年中プライベートタイムじゃねえか。
My bad. Cinderella had two younger brothers, neither of whom looked much like him. He made them both work for him at the cafe, from cooking to cleaning. He forced all the most annoying jobs on them.
グレーテルは
そうね。厨房に引きこもってお菓子でも作ってるんじゃない？
Oh my god, this game is like... If Gretel... I think Gretel also has white hair. Like, I just love white-haired anime protagonists. And oh my gosh, this game, I feel like it was made for me. Like, just because of all the white-haired beauties that are in this game. I love it.
また菓子作りか。その情熱を少しでも仕事に向けてくれれば実益も兼ねて最高なのによ。で、お前はサボりなわけか。いいご身分だな。
質行為。兄さんだって主催者のくせに早々に引っ込んだだろ。
主催者だから引っ込むんだろ。パーティー費用を出したのは誰だ。この家の持ち主は誰だ。俺だろ。俺様のものだ。つまり俺様イズルール。
はいはい。
それに俺がいなくなったところであいつらが困り果てる顔が見たいんだよ。あいつらと来たら俺に物乞いばかりしやがる。宝石だ融資だバカみたいにな。だからあいつらにわざといい顔して浮かれさせて後でばっくれてやるんだよ。その時のあいつらの顔ときたら見ものだな。
悪趣味だね。
ああ、そうだ。この宝石もいくらしたと思ってやがる。あんないけすかねえ女に似合うわけねえだろうが。融資するわけねえだろバーカ。てめえの会社の不始末は自分でつけやがれ。俺はな、ああいう鼻持ちならねえ連中の鼻を真っ二つに折るのが最高に楽しいんだよ。
自分のことは棚にあげるんだ。
ああ、
Get him snow. Yes, knocking down a peg.
別に。
なあ、もういいや。なんでもいい。喉が渇いた。なんか飲み物くれ。飲み物。
ここには何もないよ。下に戻ればいい。好きなだけ飲めるんじゃない？
下に戻ったらまたあいつらにたかられるだろ
う。だったらこっちに来るんじゃなくて外にで。
気分じゃない。
I'm so sorry. Sometimes like I accidentally press it too fast and it cuts off the audio, so I apologize for that.
おとなしくたかられてろ。
お前な、んな女みてえな顔して。
ああ、ここにいたのか、シンデレラ
Oh
兄さ
my
ん。
gosh.
お客さんが呼んでいますよ。
Who is your favorite brother? I think, oh my, I think I gotta go with Gretel, and then it's gonna be like Snow White next, and then Cinderella. Like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love this game so much already.
グレーテル、ちょうどいい。なんか飲み物くれ。持ってないなら取りに行ってこい。お兄様命令だ。
嫌です。自分で取りに行ってください。おう、ちなみに、はいこれ。僕が作った新作のショートブレッドです。僕はもういらないので、客人に振る舞うなりなんなり適当に処理してください。
Damn, and my boy's a genius? Sign me up.
お前が作ったんならお前が運べよ。何人に押し付けようとしてんだ。てか、今さっき下から来たばかりだろ。
営業時間内ならともかく、これは僕が個人的にあくまで趣味で制作したもので、誰のために作ったものでもありません。ですが、僕は試食の段階でお腹がいっぱいになったので、あとは全て兄さんにあげます。いわゆる余り物というやつです。どうせ白雪兄さんは口にしないだろうし。
そうだね。
Poor baby.
押し付けかよ。だいたい今そんなもん食ったら口がパサパサして余計喉が渇くだろうが。俺は喉が渇いてるんだよ。
だったら下の階に戻ればいいでしょ。好きなだけ飲めますよ。それに18歳未満は休日労働、深夜労働が禁止されています。あなたがどうしても働けというのなら、労働基準法であなたを訴えることになりますが。
労基署に駆け込む。
お前らそれが実の兄に対する態度か。たく相変わらず性悪な連中だな。
あなたには言われたくありません。
あんたには言われたくない。
シンデレラさん、シンデレラさん。
ほら、呼んでるよ。シンデレラ兄さん。
お前ら後で覚えてろよ。
捨て台詞が完全に悪者のそれだね。
いわゆる負け犬ゼリフというやつですね。相変わらずのヘタレだな。
His heart, his money, his life, all the color in the world had faded to an ashen gray, and they called him Cinderella.
ねえ、それ、どうするの？
お、
Once upon a time, in the looking-glass world, there was a mansion. It was nearly midnight, and all the good boys and girls were meant to be in bed. But as I was decidedly not a good girl, the night found me sneaking around the mansion in the dark. Arriving at the front door, I reached for the knob.
ひいさん、どこ行くん？夜中に女の子が一人歩きするのは感心せえへんな。
Ack. I yelped in surprise at the sudden voice behind me. That voice could only belong to one person. After all, he was the only other resident in this house. It's gotta be Alice, right? Oh, Kaguya. I don't know who that is. What's the matter, Kaguya? Why are you stopping me? Smiling nervously, I turned my face to my loyal servant Kaguya, who grinned back.
なぜって、そりゃ当たり前やん。僕はひいさん、君の従者やで。僕は自分を守らなあかんねん。
I would never leave the house if he were my servant, like, hi, how are you doing? In case you're wondering, Papa is a term of endearment that means something of the effects of sweetheart. While I'm at it, bird means girl, and in it is how he says, isn't it? Dialects are fun. I'm not gonna put myself in danger, I'm just stepping up for some fresh air. Admittedly, this excuse probably would have been more credible if I hadn't been carrying a large suitcase in one hand.
せやな。そのちょっとが数時間やなくて、 数日間っちゅうのが問題なんや。
Don't worry, I'll come right back. I'm just going for a walk. Yeah, that's it.
そんな長い散歩なんてあらへんわ。自分のはただの家出ですやん。
Again, I would never run away from home with him. Oh my god. Kaguya walked right up to me and snatched my suitcase away. I'm not running away. I'm just leaving for a while. That's all. Kaguya was generally a patient man, and my voice faltered in the face of his sudden, naked fury.
それを世間では家出っちゅうんやで、ひいさん。
He smiled and reached his eyes. Instantly, I knew he was going to do everything in his power to stop me. But I couldn't possibly back down, and so, clasping my hands together, I pleaded like my life depended on it. Please, Kaguya, please let me go. Silence fell between us. When I finally opened my eyes again, Kaguya heaved the world's biggest sigh.
はあ、やっぱりこの前の見合い話納得せえへんかったんやな。
What arranged marriage, do you ask? Let's rewind to a few days ago. It all started one fine afternoon. Kaguya handed me a hot cup of tea along with a mysterious manila folder.
釣りがきっちゅうんやで。いわゆるお見合い写真ちゅうやつやな。
Oh, I was supposed to read that last part. Oops, my bad. Since when do I have a fiancé? Sure enough, the folder contained a photo of a man I'd never met, as well as his personal records.
まだ決まってへんよ。あくまでこんなん来とるでちゅう話や。
Interesting. Somehow, it didn't feel real. Truth be told, I didn't know the first thing about arranged marriage. I gazed at the photo. There was a man depicted holding a long stick of some kind of billiard cue, perhaps? Why isn't he looking at the camera? This was the first question that came to mind. In fact, the man in the photo scarcely seemed to have noticed the camera at all. Granted, this was my first experience with a prospective fiancé, as it were, but weren't they supposed to try a bit harder to look presentable?
ああ、それは隠し撮りっちゅうやつで。
You took this without his permission? You do realize he could sue you for that, right? I looked up to find Kaguya smiling innocently.
大丈夫。まだ見つかってへんし。
Oh, he's so cute. Oh, I can't stand it. Oh, so it's okay as long as you don't get caught? There were so many things wrong with that statement. I could have kept going, but I had a feeling I'd end up giving myself an ulcer. Oops. My bad. Close. My gaze fell back to the documents. All of his personal information was listed, from his full name to his address. What sort of man is he, this Cinderella?
僕もあんま知らんねんけどな。どうやらめっちゃ調子ついとるっちゅう話で。
Drag him, oh my gosh. I had a feeling Kaguya probably shouldn't have let that slip, but he didn't seem all that bothered. I stared at him. He smiled sheepishly.
ひいさんはまだ17やし。断りたかったら断ってもええんやで。
But they don't want me to say no, do they?
そりゃまあそうやな。相手方はえらい金持ちみたいやし、この縁談を決めてくれたらうちも安泰やな。
At this, I promptly dropped the folder back onto the table. Okay, that settles it. I'll meet with him and have the marriage talk.
おー。
He's so supportive. How sweet. And that brings us to tonight.
中からてっきり覚悟を決めたもんなんかと。
I said I'd talk with him. I never said I was ready to marry him.
せやけど、お見合いを受けるってひいさんが言った時点で、結婚するも同じなんやで。
I know that. In fact, it's practically sealed the deal. I came from a fairly wealthy family myself, but from the sounds of it, our fortune was merely a drop in the bucket compared to his. And I knew our families wouldn't attempt to arrange this marriage unless there was some foreseeable benefits for both sides. So I wasn't about to throw it all in the trash just for my own convenience. Not when I knew they were counting on all this to work. They were all counting on this working out. Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, Kaguya tilted his head towards me, at me.
だったらなんでなん？やっぱ僕がシンデレラさんのことを高慢チキで高ビーな資産家のボンクラ息子って言うたのがあかんかったんかな。
Oh my gosh, tell us how you really feel, Kaguya. You never said any of that. At this point, it's practically slander.
おかしいな。なんでやろな。
He was clearly playing dumb, of course. Why was he so eager to trash talk the Cinderella guy anyway? I cleared my throat. Listen here, Kaguya. I don't approve of you bad-mouthing someone you've never even met. Nor do I approve of gossip. That's why I decided to see for myself exactly what sort of person he is.
ひいさん。
Kaguya's smile weakened a fraction of an inch. So I pressed on. I know you'll get in trouble for this, and I'm sorry, but I can't stay here. If I don't do this, I just know I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. I can't marry a stranger. I need to learn more about him first.
せやけどひいさん。シンデレラさんがどこにおるか知っとるん？
Ah, that's where you're wrong, because I do know where he lives. His tone was gentle. In response, I put my hand on my hips. Ha 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 ha. Daijoubu! Kill me. I've got this little beauty right here. With an air of confidence, I pulled out the manila folder. The info doc inside had a mailing address listed for him. Thus, I decided I would track down his house, find him, and observe him for a few days. Unfortunately for me, life was about to throw a wrench in my plans.
それは実家の住所しか書いてへんし、シンデレラさんは今実家を離れて暮らしてるんやで。
What? He's not. I stared blankly back. Nowhere in this folder did it say he was living somewhere else. This meant, of course, my plan was sunk. After a long moment of silence, what will you do now that you're out of Leeds? I will do a quick save. I couldn't save. Let's go ahead now. Let's go ahead and do that first. So I will ask Kaguya to help. Could you tell me where he's staying now? I put on my best puppy dog eyes.
はあ、そないな可愛い顔でお願いされて断れる男なんておるん？ひいさんには一生かなわんわ。
Thank you, Kaguya. And so it was that Kaguya joined me on my nighttime excursion. Kaguya's such a great guy. Then you should marry him! He's beautiful. He's so beautiful. Not only did he agree to come with me, but he insisted on carrying my luggage and even gave me his coat. A true gentleman. Oh, and don't worry about my parents. I'll do everything in my power to vouch for you, and if they get mad about this, I'll explain to them that it wasn't your fault. Though my parents frequently traveled all over the country for work and were scarcely ever home, they kept in regular contact with Kaguya. And on the off chance they found out about me sneaking out of the house at night to go track down my future fiancé, I knew they'd be furious. But Kaguya didn't deserve to take the brunt of that anger, and so I needed to stand up for him. After all, I was the one who dragged him into this.
一応自分を守るんが僕の仕事なんやけどな。
He patted me on the head.
しゃあない。こうなったら僕もとことん付き合うたるわ。
Are you sure about this? If they find out that you how much you've helped me, they'll grill you for sure.
ええに決まっとうやろ。僕のかわいいかわいいひいさんのためやからな。
So cute. Thank you so much. Oh my god, why did my voice go that high? Thank you so much. I love you. I was so touched. I wrapped my arms around his neck and gave him a big hug. He stroked my back like he was consoling a child. This was precisely why I liked him so much. This is where Cinderella lives? With Kaguya leading the way, we soon arrived at the shopping district. With its high altitude that kept things nice and cool in the summertime, the Looking Glass World was a popular resort location. The shopping district in particular was quite sophisticated. The main street was lined with museums and other historical buildings, and there were plenty of shops and cafes for the tourist. That said, they were all closed by now, and as you'd expect from a sleepy little town like ours. Totemo sutekai. It's so lovely. God, I butchered that. Ugh. Report me, please.
あんまり離れたらあかんで。
Yes, sir. I dashed out into the middle of the street and twirled around, giddy with excitement. The town's so pretty at night. Though the shops were all closed, there were still lights on in a few windows. But that wasn't the only light, of course. There were also street lamps, as well as the moon star shining down on us from high above.
せやな。昼間は昼間で賑やかで楽しいねんけど、僕も夜の街の方が好きやな。
Behind me, Kaguya chuckled at my antics. Indeed, the shopping district was enjoyable at any hour of the day. I turned to respond. Ah! Whoops. Before I could catch myself, I slipped and promptly face planted on the ground. F in the chat.
ヒーさん
Ow! That was painful, and by painful I mean painfully embarrassing.
大丈夫か
Kaguya rushed over to me and helped me to my feet. Thank you.
怪我はどっか痛いとこあるか
No, I'm fine. My body ached from the impact, but otherwise I was fine. No cuts or scrapes.
全然大丈夫やないやん。ああ、せっかくの綺麗な服が台無しや。
He brushed the grime from my clothes. I couldn't see much out here in the dark, but evidently the dirt stains were especially noticeable on the white fabric on my dress. Oh, it's no big deal. It'll come out in the wash.
見せて。
I did as requested, and he rubbed my palm clean with a handkerchief. Now your handkerchief's gonna be all grimy.
かまへん。ハンカチは汚れるためにあるんやで。よし。すりむいてはないみたいやな。
Thanks, Kaguya. He patted my head.
まあんま心配かけんようにな。
No promises, Kaguya. Yes, sir.
よし。よくできました。ほな、ゆっくり行こうか。
Without hesitation, Kaguya took me by the hand and led me down the street. And that's how we found ourselves standing outside a fancy brick building. What is this place? I had a feeling I knew the answer, but I decided to ask anyway, just in case. Wouldn't want to bust down the wrong person's door after all.
ここはシンデレラさんのお店や。喫茶店らしいで。
Whoa, that's crazy. I'm impressed he started a business at such a young age. My interest in Cinderella instantly skyrocketed. That info doc hadn't mentioned anything about a cafe. Clearly, I made the right choice in coming here to see him for myself. Or so I thought until...
二足三門でどっかから買い取ったっちゅう話やけどな。
Kaguya unceremoniously killed my hype. Well, it's still really cool that he's running the place on his own. I dug in my heels.
経営は他の者に任せっきりで、自分は遊びほうけてるみたいやけどな。
Oh no. And so my dreams were summarily crushed. Instantly, my mental image of Cinderella transformed from a working-class hunk to an upper-class snob. I hastily shook through the thoughts of my mind, and after all, it wasn't right to jump to conclusions about someone I'd never even met. Geez, Kaguya, you must really have it out for this guy.
別に嫌いやないで。
He shrugged his shoulders, chuckling. Kaguya was normally a pretty nice guy, but for some reason all compassion went out the window when he came to Cinderella. I almost wanted to ask him if he was jealous, but I had a feeling he probably just thought his question. I knew all of his usual tactics. Hoping to switch gears, I glanced back at the cafe. There were no signs out front, so it was kind of hard to tell it was a cafe at all. The lights were on, suggesting the place was still open, and I could faintly hear classical music playing over the low murmur of voices. Are they holding some kind of event here? Brimming with curiosity, I approached the front window.
そないに近づいて見つかっても知らんね。
I'll be fine. I slowly peered inside the building. Evidently, there was some sort of party going on. People were dancing, drinking, and generally having a good time. Now, which one of them is Cinderella? I scanned the guests looking for the man from the photograph. Unfortunately, I had next to no confidence I could pick him out from the crowd. Yeah, maybe not. I sighed.
何やってるの？
Ah! The sudden voice behind me made me jump out of my skin. I'm sorry, I'm not looking to rob you, I swear. I whirled around and my jaw dropped. Standing there was a guy dressed all in white. Yes, Snow White! Oh my god, I love you. You're so cute. My mind went blank mid-sentence. His striking appearance had completely blown me away. Everything about him was white as snow, even his hair. I had never seen anyone like him. He was beautiful. A moment of silence passed. As I ogled him up and down, the guy looked away from me and stared down at the ground in discomfort. Sorry, do you work here?
そうだけど、それが何か？
He didn't meet my gaze. Oh gosh. Oh, what do I do? Kaguya, what the? Panicking, I turned to Kaguya for help, only to find out that he had seemingly vanished, leaving only my suitcase behind. Bastard. I immediately looked around the area and spotted him waving at me from the corner of the building. Do you know Attempting to bounce back from this betrayal, I decided to ask the guy flat out, but the words quickly died in my throat. What was I thinking? I couldn't ask him about Cinderella directly. As my prospective fiancé, there's a good chance that Cinderella knew all about me by now. And if he were to find me here, he'd surely realize I'd come here to essentially investigate him, and he'd probably be really offended. Not only would the marriage talks be called off on the spot, but Kaguya would probably get in huge trouble. Until silence fell between us once more. The first time I had a fairly good excuse considering his appearance was so stunning, but twice? I really needed to get my act together. I struggled to think of an excuse.
用があるなら中に入れば？
Oh my god, how sweet of him. No, I can't.
なぜ？
Because, I couldn't think of a good explanation for that either. Because I racked my brain, desperate to think of something, anything, but in my panic, I could only open and close my mouth like a goldfish. Then, a silence fell for the third time. My stomach let out a loud, gurgly growl. That's weird. How am I hungry again after that big dinner we ate? He totally heard that too. Kill me now. The guy reluctantly took hold of me by the arm.
こっちに来て。
Huh? And so he led me away, his fingers like ice against my skin. Confused, I looked back at Kaguya, only to find he had once again vanished into thin air. It's you, Kaguya? Alright, so I think this is where I'm going to end the video for today. And we will continue on hopefully another time soon. I don't want to take too long in between uploads for the series, or any of the series, but you know, life gets in the way. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe, and if not, have a nice day. Thank you!